All right, hello everybody. Zaxter99 with a video to kind of help you guys out or help anybody out, guys and gals that might want to play Ultima Online, but play an old kind of classic rule set, an old kind of classic type of Ultima Online before Trammel came out, and way different than what you would play if you played the real Ultima Online now and paid the monthly fee. I really enjoy UOForever. There is a lot of new stuff and custom stuff on this server, but this video is to show you guys how to get started in Ultima Online. It is completely free, and I want to go ahead and make a quick video to kind of walk you guys through that process, because I have been asked by a few people now in my streams of how to get on UOForever and get things started and get a character started and start making money. So that's what we're going to do in this video here. So the first thing you want to do is get Ultima Online, right? So, or get Ultima Online Forever. So here, simply just Google, right? UOForever, right? And here is the website that we're talking about. This is what I play. This is what I've been playing the hell out of for the past month or more, and I'm really enjoying it. So if you are a player that remembers, playing Ultima Online back in the late 1990s, the early 2000s, and maybe you was like me and so many others that hated Trammel in the direction that Electronic Arts took the game, then you might really enjoy playing UOForever as well. Super simple to get started. You could actually be in Ultima Online playing within just a couple of minutes. Seriously, especially if you have high-speed internet. Unless you're like on, old school dial-up or something like that. Yeah, you should be playing really quick. So it couldn't be simpler. But something very important, guys, before you get started playing the game, it's important that, and because I don't exactly know where the rule set is here on the website, I know it's somewhere. Okay, that's the Wiki. Let's just go back to Google, and let's just go UOForever, and just type in UOForever rules. When you do that, it's going to be the first thing that pops up. It's going to be UOForever.com rules. You want to make sure you are agreeing to the rules. Let's go over these together and some of the more important rules that you want to make sure you're abiding by if you play the game, so that you don't get banned right off the bat and be like, I didn't know. All right. So the terms of use. You can have 3 different game accounts per household. Sharing accounts is not allowed. So for example, if you have a kid or you have a husband or a significant other or whatever, you can make your characters on your account, but telling your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your kid or whatever that, hey, go play my account while I'm at work and give me some ore or mine the mountain or, whatever, that's not allowed. You can only play your characters yourself. Do not give your account information to any other player for any reason. Doing so will put all parties linked to the accounts at the risk of being banned. And do not name your characters anything such as a racial slur or whatever. So, don't even go there, right? Don't even put, my an abbreviation or anything that sounds like a racial slur. Let's just put it there. Common sense applies here, guys. Characters with racially offensive names will be renamed, and the new names will be chosen by an admin, and you're not going to be able to rename it if that happens, I'm sure. So, multi-client rules. All right, so multi-clienting in player versus player situations is completely forbidden. You may only have one character engaged in world player versus player at any given time. Using online services to bypass the 3 account rule is strictly forbidden. The gameplay rules when you play. Action may be taken against those who chronically create a negative atmosphere or provide nothing positive to the UOF community. That's right. So those people of that play online games to grief other players, this is what we're talking about here. Please don't come into UOForever with the intention of griefing other people or trying to create a negative game experience for other players. One reason I love UOForever is because most everybody that I've seen play the game is really cool. Helps create a fun atmosphere. And yes, you have players that are going to kill you. Yes, you have thieves that are going to steal from you. That's part of the game, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that play these online games that go out of their way to try to take away the fun or spoil the fun of other players. So I'm talking about harassing other players, killing them over and over and over again as soon as they spawn, that kind of thing. Basically just going out of your way to be an asshole, right? Don't do it. Don't come here and do that, or you could get banned. So here's some of the stuff we're talking about. No excessive griefing or trolling. It's just what I said. This includes any and all trolling and propaganda type gameplay or community involvement. Griefing is defined as players who play Ultima Online forever for their own enjoyment at the cost of others, right? So if you enjoy being a dick, right, and it's bringing the fun experience or the pleasure of other players down because you enjoy being a dickhead, then that's what this is talking about. So just go find another game, right? Don't even bother. Do not make real life threats to anybody. So yeah, it might be frustrating if you've been mining for an hour, you've got a ton of gold and you're in a dungeon and PK comes in and kills you or whatever, right? That can be a frustrating experience. But hold back, right? Calm down, sip some tea, and don't be saying, I hope you die in RL, shit like that, or I'm gonna kill you in RL, or I'm gonna kick your ass, I'm gonna come find you. What all that bullshit, right? Don't do it here. It's just gonna get you banned, right? So at the end of the game, it's just a game. Have fun. Realize that the gold you got or whatever you found that you lost because you died or whatever, uh, it's just a game. So remember to have fun. You'll get more gold. You'll get more whatever you got. Do not make any unwelcomed accusations about anybody's personal life. So this is important. So you get on with a friend, you and your friend, or you get on with your girlfriend or whatever, and you and your girlfriend have a falling out. At that point, don't be saying, well, my boyfriend has a small dick in the game. That kind of shit. That's what we're talking about, right? My girlfriend's a whore and fucked 12 guys in the last 2 weeks. Don't do it. Don't go there. Don't be talking about other people's personal life inside the game. A lot of this stuff should be common sense. It's basically don't be a douche, right? Do not use impassable items to completely block or otherwise trap players or ghosts. Players must have a clear path out by some means. However, you may block the one open path with your character's spells or pets, right? So you can block an open path with your character's blocks or pets, but you can't completely block or trap players so they can't move. Do not use scamming for the purposes of obtaining another player's donation items or donation coins. So people can pay real money to get donation coins, costs them real money, right? In that situation, if you're trying to scam somebody out of their real hard-earned money by saying, hey, I get this item, and basically trying to scam them, trying to rip them off of their donation coins, which cost them real hard money, that can get you blocked. That can get you banned. So I remember back in the old days of Ultima Online, scamming was a big part of the game. People would write, like a spell book, for example. People would sell full spell books all the time that were nothing but empty spell books because in the game it didn't tell you how many spells were on the book when you clicked on it. It just said spell book, blessed or whatever. And back in the day, scamming of spell books was a big thing. And a lot of people got scammed until Ultima Online finally got wise and showed people how many spells were actually in the book. 64 spells, by the way, is a full spell book. It still is today. So yeah, just don't be trying to scam people out of their donation coins. That can get you banned. We're not going to tolerate any kind of racism whatsoever in Ultima Online forever. That's what we're talking about. Don't name yourself that. Don't call it out of other players, no matter how much they might, whatever, right? So even if they're black in the game, don't go there, right? It goes the same way for any race, not just that. So do not consistently or excessively harass any players or Ultima Online. This goes back to up here, right? Griefing and trolling. So harassing people. Each excessive harassment situation will be handled on a case-by-case basis. Again, don't be a douche, man. Do not attempt to hack or virtually attack DDoS any other users or staff of Ultima Online forever. Don't DDoS somebody. Do not use any kind of third-party program that is not Classic UO, Orion, Razor, Talos, which is a UOF version, or UO Steam. We do not tolerate any other programs whatsoever. Play at your own risk on the poker tables and slot machines within the game, gambling. Staff is never going to get involved if you think that you should have won when you lost. Basically, you lose your money gambling in the game, it's gone. Don't be fucking getting pissed off and messaging staff that you need your money back. Even if you think the UO poker table NPC cheated. Do not use multi-clients on the poker table. This is a big one here, unattended macroing, right? Unattended macroing is generally okay. However, there are some situations that are strictly prohibited. Do not use a house or AFK macro to AFK macro resources, ingots, wood, wool, etc. This will result in the house being removed and the player removed from the game, regardless of who owns the house. It is seen as proceeds against the rules activity. Do not use an animal taming macro unattended. Any sort of AFK scripting using this skill set will be punishable. So you can't do animal taming while you're unattended, while you're not there. Do not use any resource gathering skills unattended, such as lumberjacking, stealing, mining. This includes but not limited to all rail mining, auto mining, smelting, house dropping, message in bottles, treasure maps, and auto rune book traveling and banking. Do not train your meta talismans or meta relics unattended. Right, so there's meta pets. Do not train your meta pets or meta pet relics unattended. AFK training your meta pets and characters will result in jail time or possible experience level wipe completely. So once you get into the game, you'll learn what meta pets are. If you don't know what they are like the supreme pet, and they cost millions and millions and millions of gold, and you won't be there for a while. Do not use unattended macros for the purposes of obtaining any valuable loot. Failure to comply with any of these rules can result in jail time, having all your resources removed, or being banned. No excuses will be accepted for illegal AFK macros, especially doing house chores, answering calls of nature. I went to the bathroom. I just went to the bathroom. Yeah, right. Or a parental figure is calling you out to dinner. If you must step away for any amount of time, even for a couple of minutes to go take a leak, then you need to turn off the script, the macro. Simple as that. They're not going to put up with the bullshit. They're not going to put up with the lies or the excuses or whatever, right? There's a lot more rules here. I would definitely check all these out. I'm not going to sit here and read all these guys, but that's the basics. Yeah. So there's a lot of Discord rules if you join the Discord, which I highly advise you to do as well. Because the old forums and stuff like that, a lot of those old forum posts are many years old now. Pretty much everybody's game uses Discord to trade and sell or ask questions about the game if you're new or whatever. There's a whole I'm new section and everything like that. So another thing, guys, that you want to do if you're going to play UOForever is definitely go ahead and I would make a bookmark for the UOForever wiki. So instead of just Googling, hey, how do you do this in Ultima Online, I would definitely follow the UOForever wiki because a lot of things are different in UOForever. So for example, there's custom dungeons in this server. Rather than your old school dungeons like Shame and Despise and Deceit and all that, you have custom dungeons that are on the server. There's different islands on the server. Some of the rules are completely different. Donation coins are different. And right here, guys, on the UOForever wiki, you have a new player guide to kind of walk you through and help you gain skills and help you get started in the game. So when you download these server guides, you're going to have a little icon on your desktop that says UOForever, just like this. So when you launch that, you're going to come up with a window just like this that says UOForever Play Now. So I would definitely make sure you're updated. It should be updated if you just downloaded it from the website, though, right? So go ahead and click Play Now. When you do, you're going to come up here, and this is going to be completely blank, and your password's going to be completely blank. First thing I would do is go ahead and make sure that your save account is checked. And here, you don't have to register on the website for UOForever or anything like that. This is where you actually create your account and how you get a registered account, okay? So you're going to go ahead and create your name. So for me, let's go ahead and say I create my name, Zaxter100. The reason I have Zaxter100 is because Zaxter99 is my first account. The Zaxter100 is actually my third account. Then I have another spelling for Zaxter99, where, because you can have 3 different accounts. And you, by default, you have 3 characters on each account. You can buy additional character slots, I think up to 2 more, at the cost of 1 million gold per slot. But create whatever username you want. Try to create something a little bit unique so it's not taken, right? So, for example, UO guy might be taken as a username. Try to be a little more creative than UO guy. So create your username and then put whatever password you want. I think it needs to be, 8 characters long or whatever. I don't think it needs to have special characters or exclamation points or anything like that. Just make sure it's like 8 characters long or more, I believe. So once you create a unique user ID and a password, you're going to go ahead and hit login. If it comes up with an error, and it might come up with an error saying this username is already taken or something like that, then just create another username, right? So once you get logged in, you've created a unique username, the password's accepted, you're going to come in and it's going to give you a choice of UOForever, which is what I play, and most of the more casual people. And they just came out with Overdrive, I do believe, and you can read more about that in the UOForever wiki. Overdrive is kind of like a fresh start, and it's a new server, but it's related to UOForever. It's ran by the staff of UOForever, and it kind of it's more your PvP oriented server. So it's gonna have a rule set, and it's customized for a good PvP experience. So if you're interested in PvP, I would definitely recommend starting out on Overdrive so you're not wasting time on the main UOForever. So once you click on UOForever, for example, or Overdrive, you're not going to have characters already made. You're just going to create a character. So here, you're just going to go ahead and hit New. And let's say that to get started and try to get the feel of UOForever, I would just, you can, if you know how to do a character, if you remember that, that's fine. But we're just going to go ahead and create a new character here, and we're going to create like a basic melee swordsman, right? So I'm just going to call my guy Swordzala. There we go, right? And Swordzala is actually a female, right? And we're going to go ahead and give her, let's give her pigtails. And let's make her, doesn't really matter what probably doesn't matter a whole lot. Well, these are blessed clothes. You might want to take some time, but you can dye them, right? You can dye them with like a 8 gold piece dyeing kit. But let's go ahead and make her hair color rather than gray. Let's make her hair color dark brown. Yeah, she's going to be a brunette. She's going to be a little darker skinned. Yeah, she's got a nice tan. There we go. Right? So the only option here, you don't have any default presets in UOForever. So you pretty much have to choose advanced. You have to come up with 4 skills that you want to use. And you divide those skills. I think there's 150 total points or something like that you can divide. So we're going to go swords, number 1. And then I'm going to take anatomy and other skills that go with swords, like anatomy and tactics and stuff like that. They tend to go up pretty quickly. I would probably recommend to start out, if you're going to do like a melee character, choose fencing or swordsmanship or whatever, and then go healing. All right, that's be my recommendation. But you can look at more of some of the recommended starting points on the UOForever wiki under new player help, as I showed you. Here we're just gonna go. Let's say I kind of want to do some. I want to be a treasure hunter. So if you're gonna be a treasure hunter, you might want to start off getting cartography so you can read the maps, and then pick another skill. But even if you're not going to put a whole lot of points into it, right? You might want to. If you're going to do a treasure hunter, you definitely want to get some lock picking as well. And let's just go with that. And we just want these first 2 maxed out as much as we can at 50. And your swordsmanship, I would just make sure your intelligence is down as low as it can be. And then put your other skills in, strength or whatever. And we'll just go with that, right? That's fine, right? So as long as it's not close to that for a melee character, you're going to be fine. Alright. So when you create your character, you're going to come up, this should pop up automatically, a Razor Enhanced toolset. I would put this off to the side. You're going to need this here in a little bit. I'll show you how to set some of that stuff up in there. But you're going to notice right off the bat that the sound effects are a little bit high. I would definitely go into your options from your character window that pops up. First thing I would do is I would drag this sound way down to like 10 at the most. Music, I like putting it about 6 or 7. I mean, your computer may be a little bit different, but I would definitely decrease the sounds of your sounds and music for sure. And then make sure you hit apply so it takes place. And then in the general settings, let me see if everything is about right. Auto open corpses, auto open doors should already be selected by default. One thing I like to do here is under mobiles, I like to show the hit points rather than a percentage of health. I like to choose line here. That way a line shows up under players like in monsters and stuff like that. And I like to go less than 100%. Right, so if it's less, I don't want it showing all the health bars of everybody that's at full health, such as all the NPCs in town, that kind of thing. So just leave it at less than 100% would be my recommendation. And then scrolling down, grid loot should be on by default. You want that on both. That is what I have. I like to take my circle of transparency all the way up. That way if I do turn it on, then I can actually see through walls and stuff like that, and it's not too small. And I think that's... Oh, so one thing you might want to do as well is you might want to turn the trees to stumps if you don't want to see all the vegetation. You want to be able to see where you're going. You want to be able to see monsters without branches and stuff like that hiding them. And really, this is kind of a personal choice, but after playing UO for a while, you'll probably end up checking these just so you can actually see stuff and target monsters and stuff like that easier, right? So that's what I have there. Make sure you hit apply. Again, this is in the general settings. And what the things I've chosen here are show hit point as a line rather than as a percentage. That's what I've done. And then I've also increased my circle of transparency to max. And then I've checked trees to stumps and hide vegetation. Make sure you hit apply. Going down to video, this should be enabled. The zoom, what this allows you to do is use control and your scroll wheel and your mouse to zoom in and out. Right? So that should be checked already by default, unless things change or whatever. Macros, this is where you're going to create macros, and we'll show you how to do that in just a minute. Speech color. I like to change my speech color to something a little bit brighter than the default blue, so like yellow or orange or whatever, and then make sure you hit apply. This is an important one here, guys. Make sure by default, under combat spells, the very first one, hold tab for combat. I don't think anybody wants to sit there and have to hold down the tab key to stay engaged in a fight. So I would uncheck that, and that way you can just basically turn it on and off by hitting your tab key. Definitely highly recommend that. Counters. This is going to be, by default, you're going to have 5 counters. Most people are probably going to need more than this. And I like to make it go the same way as this. So I like to go 1 row. And then as you play the game more, you might need more. But I like to go like 15 or 20. So if you just go 1 row, 15, 20, and then hit apply here, you'll see that you now have a counter area, so you can see how many bandages you have, how many rags you have, how many wood you have if you're collecting wood or ore or whatever. And you can just drag all that stuff from your pack up here, and then you'll always know how many you have. So in the situation you see by default, because I'm a melee character, I have my explosions and my greater heal potions or whatever are up here. And then I have how many bandages I have, right? I think that's about it. You can play with some of this other stuff to see if it, everybody's going to be a little bit different in what they want. But ignore list, yeah, so you can have an ignore list if people are harassing you or whatever. You can you can put that ignore list up and add people to it or whatever, right? So let's go ahead and just right click to get out of any of these windows, and you see that we're right here in Britain, and we're at the end. This is probably where you're going to start out. So one thing I like to do is I like to make this map here a little bit smaller that pops up. If you lose it, you accidentally click it, right? And you don't have it anymore, I'll show you how to get that back. So we have some spells by default. I like to drag my player character window up here all the way. I like to put my bag with her. Your preference for where you put all this stuff is up to you. But one thing I definitely do is I like to make my play window a lot bigger. Remember, Ultima Online was created for computers back those old square monitors. Wasn't made for like widescreen. Nobody had widescreen monitors back then, right? I like to bring up my status. If you want to just bring up your free, instead of having all this shown somewhere, right? You can, let's put this over here. It shows like effects and spell effects and if you're poisoned and stuff like that. I'm not really sure what this window shows yet, but we'll just put that there. We'll put this here. But if you don't want this and you just want to show the 3 bars, you can just drag that off yourself. Or you can just drag the health bar off of like a mob that you're fighting or whatever, right? But I like to show the status, and again, that's on your character window and status. Let's say you've lost this character window, right? Double click yourself. It'll pop up, right? And then put it wherever you want, right? You'll see by default, you have your newbie weapon of your choice. If you're doing swords, you're going to have a newbie katana. And you see, because I chose cartography, I start off with some maps that are newbie. These aren't treasure maps, I don't think, but they are, yeah, they're just empty blank maps, right? You're going to start off with some gold. You're going to start off with some bandages. You choose healing. And I would definitely recommend when you're creating your character, even if you're not going to be a swordsman or whatever, even if you're going to be a straight out mage, right? I would definitely make healing one of your starting skills and just put it at least like 1 point or whatever. And the reason you want to choose healing is because then you're going to get a newbie pair of scissors that will drop on, that won't drop on your death. So you definitely want to have these. Having newbie scissors that are always in your pack is very, very helpful. And you'll be glad you started with healing at least a point, so you get these newbie scissors at some point, guarantee it, right? So to move, if you don't remember how to move, nope, we don't want to join the battle. Stuff like that will pop up from time to time. Okay, so we have the circle of transparency on. Let's go back into our options. We don't want that. Let's go down. Where is it? Yeah, we want to uncheck the circle of transparency. So I think that's checked by default. I would uncheck that and then hit apply. And what I like to do is let's go ahead and get our first macro out of the way. First couple of macros, right? And this is what I highly recommend for everybody. So go into your options again. Let's go ahead and do a macro. The first macro I recommend is hit new macro. And we're going to call this, I like to call it bank buy. This is how I do it. And this is what I call it. You can call it whatever you want, but I do bank buy. And then I make say. And here, we're just going to say something specific. We're going to say bank, so that if we're near the bank or any bank, we can open our bank box just by clicking this, right? And then we're also going to say guards. We're going to also click this button if, like, somebody is, make sure you spell guards correctly. It's G-U-A-R-D-S. Guards, if somebody's, attacking you in town or whatever, you can call the guards. And then I like to say vendor buy. And then at some point, you're probably going to get your own house or whatever. And if you have somebody that you don't want in your house, like somebody chases you in your house, they're attacking you or trying to steal from you or whatever, I'd like to go ahead and also put in here, I ban thee, to cover all these situations. So basically in one button here, we're going to be able to handle opening our bank box if we're near a bank, calling the guards if somebody's attacking us in town or whatever, stealing, they just stole something, they went gray, you can call the guards and try to get them whacked. If we're buying something from a vendor, and then if we have a house and somebody enters our house, we can ban them, right? I would copy and paste this when you type that, and then hit apply, or you can create macro button. So just click the create macro button, right? And once you click that, you're going to have your bank buy button down here, and we can just put that down here. So the next new macro, we're just going to call this, as you might have already guessed, bank sell, right? And here, we're just going to hit say, and we're going to go ahead and copy and paste what we just had before. And right here, we're just going to go ahead and call this vendor sell. So if we're trying to sell something to a vendor, we can type vendor sell. Hit apply, great macro button. And here you can attach these right here together so that they're all one piece, right? And then the next one is going to be new macro. And I just like to call this one circle trans, like that. Circle of transparency. And here from the list, instead of saying something, we're going to come down and we're going to find circle transparency. It's right here, right? And then we're going to create a macro button for that. Now I can right click out of this window, because I'm done with it for now. And now, if I want to turn on my circle transparency, so for example, if I know there's a loot bag right behind this wall or whatever, I can turn on my circle of transparency. And while you're getting started out as well, guys, this is another good way if you don't have a house yet or whatever, and you're looking at giving yourself, like, let's say I want to give my second character on the same account an item or some gold or whatever. This is a good way that you can do that really quickly, easily. I mean, it does come with a little bit of risk, but what I do is I come upstairs in a building like an inn or whatever, right? And I don't think you're going to be allowed to put anything in a chest, but what I do is I turn on my circle of transparency, and I'll drop this item from like my second character on the same account. Well, let's say that I want to give my second character some lockpicks, for example, right? So I'm just going to go ahead. If it's really big, you might want to put it in like a little bag, right? But you can drop it right there on the floor. In circle of transparency, you can see that nobody else can see that unless they're right here with their circle of transparency on, right? So if you log on your other character really quickly and you come up here to the same spot, turn on your circle of transparency on your other character, you're probably going to be able to pick that item up. Remember, there is a risk if you're dropping stuff on the ground, but if it is something really big, like maybe a pile of gold or whatever, I would actually put that in a bag. Let me go ahead and show you another thing really quick that is a command that can help you out when you start getting a lot of crap in your your backpack. So you might want to sort this crap out, right? So you want to hit the enter key, hit the open bracket button, just like that, which is usually to the right of your P button. Every keyboard might be a little bit different. But you're just going to go ahead and type in the command, organize me, all one word. And when you do that, it's making a liar out of me. Pretty sure it's, did I spell wrong? Organize me? Well, this is a situation where we might want to check out the wiki. So let's find out, because there is a command for that. So let's see what I did wrong. There we go. UOForever wiki. Probably going to be right there when you start typing it. And right here, we have server commands right here under new player. So what did I type wrong? Organize items in your backpack in pouches by their type. Organize me. Okay, so I don't have enough stuff in my backpack. Let's see if I do this. So I did type the right command. Let's see if I put my weapon down here and then I do that. It'll probably give me at least one bag. Nope, not yet. Alright, we'll try that a little bit later after we start getting some more loot. So see, that made a liar on me. But that is a command, and if you have a lot of reagents and a lot of different stuff, probably stuff besides the new player stuff, that's probably why it's not working, because everything's like a new player item. But as you start getting real world items, that's probably when you'll use the organize me command, and it will sort all your stuff into different bags. And it's a nice, free, easy way to get some bags to, keep your stuff kind of organized in your backpack, right? So from the inn, and again, this is where you're going to log out. If you want to log out and log another character in and you don't have a house, I would definitely bring your character here to the inn or in any town and log out. And that way you can immediately log in your other character and you don't have to wait. Okay. So if you run this way, basically left from the inn, you might remember if you played UO before, this is the provisioner, the tailor shop's down here, the jeweler is right here, and right here is the infamous West Britain Bank, and it's basically to the left of the inn where you start. And this is where you're going to see other players. If you're looking to trade anything or buy anything, like off the buying and selling on the Discord or whatever, you made a transaction, you've collected 10,000 gold, and you're going to buy yourself a new set of, let's say, dragon scale armor, for example, from a player. I would definitely do all your trading here. There are a lot of thieves by West Britain Bank, so if you do any trading on top of the bank or inside the bank, it'll give you this message that you've entered the Britain safe trading zone. Thieves can't steal from you in here. So come in here to do any kind of trading, and then nobody else can steal your stuff. So if you're not going to wear it immediately, I would definitely open that bank box, or maybe you're buying a statue for your first house or whatever, and you don't want it to be stolen. I would definitely bank it. The thing you might want to do is go ahead and bank your gold. right? And then all the stuff that you have should not be droppable, so if you die, you're not going to lose it. So we're going to go ahead and keep all these 150 bandages because we're going to need them, right? And as well, we're going to want to be able to heal ourselves without having to find our bandages in our pack under all the loot we might be grabbing, and double-clicking the bandages and then targeting ourselves, right? Another thing too, if you're trying to target somebody and you're trying to click on yourself, you can also just target your status. It's a lot easier to click on, right? But we want to be able to, we're going to go out and fight. And this is what I recommend because it worked really well for me. I GM'd a fencer in probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, just out of the Britain graveyard, right? There wasn't anybody else out there at the time, so it was just me, and it worked really effectively, really well. So it's what I recommend. If you want to go out in the forest or explore, you're certainly welcome to do that and do whatever you want. But this is just my, one way to level up like a melee character pretty quickly. But before we do this, we want to go ahead and tie in the a couple of different things with a press of a button. And by default, I use F1 and F2 for like cure for F1, like if you have cure potions or whatever. But if you're just going with straight out healing as a new character, you might just want to create healing. But I like to save my F1 key for cure, or drink a cure potion if I have cure pots, right? Which you'll probably start using later on. But you can choose any key you want. And for this, we're going to use the enhanced razor for this. So on enhanced razor, first thing you want to do here is you want to go ahead, you're not going to have anything here, I think it's going to say default or whatever. You're going to want to go ahead and tie in a profile, your character's profile, to UOForever, the enhanced razor. So go ahead and click add here, and we're going to create my character's name, and I called her Swordzala or whatever, right? So we're going to go ahead and type in our character name, hit add. Then we have Swordzala right here under our profile. We've created a profile for her. You also want to link this profile to the character you're playing right now. So go ahead and click link, and it'll even tell you down here, Swordzala linked, player Swordzala. Before we get going too further, guys, I have forgot something. When you first log in, your first character right there in the end, right? It's going to come up with a message, so you need to be paying attention right up here on the left-hand side. This is when you first log in. It's going to come up here, and it's going to ask you to input your email address. This is how you actually register your account. So if you create 3 accounts, it's going to do this 3 times for your first character that you create on that username that you created. Your first character, it only does this with 1 character. When you first log in, it's going to come up here and say, hey, welcome to UOForever. Please give me your email address. And I think it's going to hound you until you do this. So, it's not something you're going to be able to forget easily. And it's going to ask you to input an email address. So if you're going to create 3 accounts, you're going to need 3 different email addresses. So obviously you want to put in a valid email address in here, right? Because it's going to immediately send you a code to that email address. It's going to welcome you again. It's going to give you a code. And then immediately here in Ultima Online, it's going to ask you to enter that code that was emailed to you. You're going to have to go check your email, copy and paste that code that was emailed to you, and then come back and put it right in the game, and then submit that. And as long as you typed in the code correctly, your account's registered, verified, you're good, right? So that is how you do that. So don't forget that, guys. When you first log in with your first character on every account, be sure you give them an email address, and then come back, make sure you put in that code so that your account doesn't get removed or deleted or whatever, or so that it leaves you the hell alone, doesn't harass you. Right? So you can buy a horse for like 500 gold, 550 I think, from the NPC. I would recommend that pretty quickly. So if you run up here, guys, and let's go ahead and get the map, right? So I like to move this thing over here. You can put this up anywhere you want, like I say. I like to put my counter right here underneath it. But to bring up that world map, you just double click world map here in this thing here, right? All right. So now we kind of see a map of where we're going. So what we're doing is we're coming up to the very top of Britain. And from the bank, you basically just come up by the bank and you run right? You run all the way diagonally like this. And this is actually north. Okay, so as we see on the map, we are running north. And actually, I believe the default map, if you open the map up and you scroll in and out, you'll see the map is tilted by default. If you want to make this more north and south oriented, yeah, because it's basically tilting it, so this is actually north. But if you want to flip it so you can actually read it like a lot of people do, you just hit the flip, right click on it, and then flip. And then if you hold the Alt key, you can move the map around, right? So now if we zoom back in, we want to hold Alt so we can scroll in where we're at over here by Britain. Now, if we zoom in further, we'll see that as I run this way, my character is actually moving straight north on the map, right? There we go. It's being a little finicky. Yeah, as I run this way, I'm going straight north, as you can see. So what we're looking at doing is going to this graveyard here, right here, guys. So by Britain, there's a graveyard like right here. And you follow the trail from the northwest corner of Britain. There's a trail right here that goes right to the graveyard. We're going to make this smaller, right? And then we're going to follow this trail. You usually have a couple of healers down here in this area if you die. You also have an ink or ankh, and that is where you can res as well. So these things you can resurrect at. So I recommend just going ahead and make sure you have your weapon equipped. And we didn't set up a healing hotkey, which is what we want to do. So that is one thing I want to do. Go ahead and hit the tab key to go into war mode. What I would do is drag the health off of your mob, right? And double click their health bar. And then you're going to attack them. And that is it. As you can see, we're taking quite a bit of damage. Well, no, we've only taken 5 damage. So with the default, I would start your fighting skill at 50. That way you can, win without dying immediately out here at the... make sure your strength is like 50 as well. That way you can hit hard enough to actually take them out. If you're doing a melee character. Alright. So then, because of the settings and the options, we're going to have this... as soon as we are close to the corpse, we're going to have this automatically come up. Be careful with this auto corpse pop-up, though, if there are a lot of other players around. Because if you take somebody else's loot, and you're not young anymore or whatever, you can actually go gray. When you're still young, it's not going to let you steal from another corpse. But after you played, I think, 80 hours of in-game, your young will go away and you'll be a normal character. Or there is a way to remove your young status by typing a command in the game, and I would just go to the wiki for that. I think it's like, I wish to announce my young status or something. You type that in the game and you're no longer young, and you can engage in PvP and steal from people and get stolen from and get killed by other players as well. Yeah, just be careful that you're watching that loot. If you take something from a mob that you didn't attack or kill, then you can go gray and you're a criminal and you're a free for all for any other players, right? Then they can kill you and take all your shit. So be sure you're ready for that. So one thing you want to do is you want to be able to be ready to just hit a key to heal. So to do that, we're going to come back and we're going to grab our razor, right? And from here, I know this is a lot, so that's why I'm making a video, so you can go back and play this up over again. You're going to go to your hotkeys, right? And we want to go ahead and we want to make a healing hotkey. So we're going to go into combat for healing, and we're healing with bandages, right? So we're going to click under bandage, and we're simply going to be bandaging ourselves. So I like to make this F2. You can make it any key you want, but we're going to go ahead and bandage self. So as soon as you make the key, even if you highlight this and you type in a key, it's going to go way over here. So type the key first that you want, and then click on like bandage self, right? Up, F2, bandage self. There we go. So once you got this highlighted and you still get your key in here, you want to make sure for something like that it's passed on to UO. It's set. You'll see that it turns green here, and you'll see the F2, whatever key you selected for healing yourself, right? So, another skill you might want to start off with is hiding. So you can hide. So if there's a lot of mobs around or whatever, and you're trying to heal, you can hide while you're healing, and mobs can't see you, and maybe other players can't heal. Hiding is a pretty useful skill. And so, like, let's say you were making a hotkey to hide. And remember, even if you don't start off with that skill, you can either buy the skill from an NPC, or you can just do it really quick from zero. And let's just go ahead and make hiding F4 to show you how that works. So we're going to go into skills. We're going to go to hiding. Let's make this F4. Click on hiding again. Pass the UO is checked by default. That's good. And we'll go ahead and hit set. We'll see that it ties it in here by turning green, hitting F4. Right? So now we'll see that I can attempt to hide by simply hitting my F4 key, or whatever key you tie it to. You have to wait a couple of minutes. You fail to hide, but you'll see that my skill is going up over here, right? And if you want to see your skills here on your skill list, you can do that as well. So you can see all the different kinds of skills. What I like to do is on the skill list, I like to make a new group here, and I like to change the name of it to like my skills or whatever. That way you just have all the skills that you're trying to train up right here. And so hiding, for example, is, I believe, a thieving skill. Just drag it down to the new group you've created. Reopen that up. And then we also have a combat skill. You want to make this really long while you're getting all these skills. Swordsmanship. We know that we're going to have healing down here. Tactics is going to be something that's going to go up. Anatomy is going to go up for both healing and our combat skill. Make sure you check the show real, so you're actually getting real skills, not skills based on your attributes, like your strength and stuff. And then any skills you want to make sure that you don't increase accidentally or whatever, because remember you're limited to 700 total skill points of all the skills that you use. I just like to go ahead and click on these arrows until they're locked. That way I'm not accidentally skilling up stuff like begging and stuff like that. So if we're going to be a treasure hunter, we're definitely going to have cartography as well. And then I lock all the other stuff that I don't want to accidentally raise, right? Magic might be something you want as well, at least like 40 or 50 magic skills, so that you can use a recall, so you can use like the recall spell to recall around rather than having to require or use recall scrolls. But there are plenty of recall scrolls on all kinds of vendors outside of town that you can buy, should you decide to use recalls to recall around, right? The rune books are definitely going to be something you want to buy from other players soon for like the world banks, the cities or whatever, and for like all the dungeons and stuff like that. That'd be the first 2 rune books I get, but that's going to depend on you, right? We're going to come in here, and we're just going to go ahead and take these guys on. Don't worry about buying fancy armor or anything like that, guys, right away. Just come out here and get skills. If you die, no big deal. We're taking some damage here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit my healing key, which I tied to F2. And you'll see I begin applying the bandages. This way you're working up your healing skill as all these guys are surrounding you. And if you start getting a beat down, right, and you're not able to heal right away, that's probably pretty expected. You apply the bandages, but they barely help. Just run away for a second, guys. Run away from these guys. You see I'm beating this one guy up, but they're kind of surrounding me. And if I die, I can resurrect right here. And remember, I'm still young, so I'm not going to drop anything. So I'm going to go ahead and start healing again by hitting my healing key, F2, in the situation. Oh, this guy's up here. Trying to beat this guy up. You can drag their health off. If you can't target them, let's say I want to drag all the health off, you can hit the control key and shift at the same time. And that kind of gives you all the targets around you, so it makes it a lot easier to drag everybody's health bar off. So again, remember that is Alt-Shift at the same time, right? We failed at healing again. We are missing a lot, which is expected, but this is what we want. This is the main thing we want, is these skills to go up. Our swordsmanship is going up. Our tactics is going up. Our healing is going up as we try to heal. We're going to go ahead and run. Our fingers are slipping every time you get hit. We're at 20 health, that's fine. Now we got away from them hitting us. We actually got to heal off, and we healed for 21 points. We want to go ahead and heal again, though, because we're only at 42. And another player. They're probably... People on the server, I don't know this guy, but people on the server are amazing guys. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy heals me. Like, I love the server because people are so cool. Like, a lot of times people... Don't beg people for, like, money and stuff like that. Don't be walking around begging for money. Just play the game and like do this kind of stuff. So he's actually going to be healing me, I'm sure. Yes, it says he's attempting to heal me. So if you get somebody helping you like this, see, Forrest is attempting to heal you. But if you play this game and you're running around new, and somebody notices that you're going and banking all your gold from the graveyard or whatever, people will notice. Some veteran players will, and they're very likely to just come up and give you a check for like 5,000 gold, or give you something to help you, or give you a set of armor, or come up and attempt to heal you or whatever, right? So people on the server are very, very cool, especially towards new players, because I mean, I think most people on the server want to grow. They want to see UOForever grow and get bigger, right? So they're going to welcome you. Most people will. It'll be really cool. So be sure you respond by saying something like thank you if somebody's helping you or they give you money or whatever. Don't just like ignore them, right? If you have questions, you could ask. So here, we're just going to go ahead and pick up that. If you intend on making like an archer in the future, zombies typically have drop arrows, like 10 arrows, so you could definitely save up the arrows to give to your archer character or whatever. Or maybe you're starting with an archer. You might want to pick those arrows up so you don't have to buy them. So if you are buying arrows, the best place to buy arrows is from any provisioner. Don't go to the Fletcher to buy arrows. The Fletcher charges like 5 gold for basic arrows. So if you're buying arrows for like most bows or like a comp bow or whatever, then comp bows are the most popular kind of bow in this game. So if you're buying just basic arrows, you want to see the provisioner because they're only 2 gold from the provisioner, but the Fletcher will charge like 5 gold each for them, I believe. And if you're looking at crossbow arrows, then you want to buy those from the Fletcher because it's vice versa. The provisioner charges 5 gold, I believe, and the Fletcher only asks for 2. Yeah, so don't waste your money like I did when I started off with my archer. But that is how to get started in UOForever, guys. Hopefully this has been, let's see. Yeah, this has been about an hour-long video. Wow, I didn't think it was that long. It's a lot of fun. You'll notice that the time does go away really quickly as you're playing and as you're fighting and as you're getting loot and everything like that. There's a lot of cool things about UOForever that you're going to learn that's probably a little bit different than what you remember from classic dial-up days, right? Now we got a worm, right? And you can get rid of any of these windows by just right-clicking on them. And now we can handle these guys a little bit better. But the important thing here, guys, is we're getting both healing skill, we're getting skills in tactics, swordsmanship, anatomy. These skills are going up like crazy, and this is exactly what you want as a new character. And I guarantee you, if you sat here for a couple of hours, you're probably going to get to GM swordsmanship or fencing or whatever you started with within a couple of hours, so you're going to get really close. Obviously, depending on what else you're doing and how frequently you're banking, that kind of thing, right? Guys running from us, we're going to go ahead and continue to heal. And when you're starting out here, guys, even if you're only damaged for like 3 points or whatever, I still heal myself just because I want that healing skill, right? And then I also pick up the bone armor. So if you get bone armor that drops from like a skeleton or whatever, I definitely pick that up and wear it because it will protect you a little bit, right? And it's pretty durable. It won't break very quick. Like I remember the bone armor breaking like super quick back in old school UO, but this bone armor is pretty durable. It only has like 30 durability or 28 durability or whatever it might be, but it does last quite a while. But again, remember starting off, you don't need kick-ass armor when you're starting out. The main thing you want to do is get your skill up, right? And then you can talk to somebody and have a conversation. They're going to heal you. And again, just do your thing. Level up and go bank your gold. I recommend banking your gold like when you get to 5,000, especially starting off, maybe even more frequently. Go and bank your gold. That way if you die, you don't lose it. And that way you have it. And yeah, hopefully this gets you started on the right path, guys. It shows you kind of set up those the hotkeys, shows you how to get things set up in the options. shows you how to start getting, your way towards getting a GM first skill in a melee character. And if you want to be an archer, you want to be a provoker, there's lots of different things. You could be a mage, whatever. Same kind of thing. I would start off right here in the Britain graveyard, skilling up, because you skill up really quickly, right here, right? And at that point, save up some money, try to buy a couple of rune books, solve the dungeons and things like that. Buy, a nice set of armor. If you're a mage, buy some regs or whatever. One thing I do want to go ahead and say is it's really easy to make money in this game. So even if you want to be a mage, like back in the day, I remember like, oh, you had to have a miner just to afford making a mage or whatever. That's not the case here. If you make a mage, like right off the bat, you're going to be fine. You're going to be making plenty of money to buy all your reagents you need for spellcasting. So yeah, you don't have to worry about making 1,000,000 gold to even try to think about being a mage. You can make a mage right off the bat and be very, very successful in UOForever. You want to make a blacksmith or whatever, do that. Whatever it is you want to do. But I just remember back in the day, most people started off as like a miner so that they could mine and sell the ingots and make money. You don't need to do that in UOForever. Start off with whatever character template you want to be, and have fun. So be sure you ask questions down in the comments down below, guys, or more importantly, make sure you join the Discord. The Discord is a link available right on the UOForever website. And once you click that Discord, it'll give you an invite to Discord, and you can come up here, and in the Discord for UOForever, there's announcements, there's patch notes for all the patches they have. They have player events like auctions and streamers. So if somebody's streaming like myself, you'll see that, hey, I was the last person that streamed, and it'll show you that I streamed for 4 hours, right? Etc. If you have any kind of questions, then you would just come down here to the help I'm new. Come right here and you'll see basic new people asking questions. You can also search topics. So if you're just wondering something that's probably a pretty popular question, just search it up here before asking. That way maybe you're not asking the same question that people have already asked 100 times. But if you do have something like, hey, I'm stuck, I can't move or whatever, then just ask it in the help I'm new, and somebody is more than likely going to help you out. Crafting stuff. If you're looking to buy something, there's a voice channels in here as well. You can go to buying, selling. If you're looking to get some real estate to build a house or whatever, you can come to real estate, buy, sell. If you're looking for good vendors, you can come to vendor promoting and see all the big vendor people that run vendors and what they sell and where it's at. Price check. If you found something that sounds really cool and you want to check out what the price is or what it goes for, you can come here to price check and say, hey, I found this. How much do block dye tubs go for nowadays? And somebody says like nothing. Yeah. There you go. So that's it, guys. Hopefully this gets you started on UOForever. If you decide to play UOForever, I welcome you with open arms, and I'm sure most people that play UOForever will as well. As we already saw, somebody was definitely helping us out right away by healing us as we were fighting. That allowed us to stay in combat and not have to run. We were able to just sit right there and get more skill quicker rather than having to run away, right? So you can visit an NPC animal trainer to get yourself like a horse, which I highly recommend. If you do buy a horse or a pet, I recommend feeding it right away. That way you start the bonding process. It takes like a week before it becomes bonded. And that way if it dies, you don't lose it. And you can just bring the dead animal right here to the bank and somebody will heal it for free. If you have a bonded dead horse, for example, or whatever, right? So then you'll see a lot of people just hanging out by the bank, typing and helping new people out or whatever. So be sure you kind of watch them. If they're talking to you or whatever, say, hey, are you new or whatever? And definitely say, yeah. And somebody's more than likely, if they notice you're new, somebody's more likely going to give you something, either a set of armor, a weapon, a check for some gold or whatever. But again, don't beg. Yeah, don't walk around begging, hey, can I have 5,000 gold? Don't do it. People are going to frown upon stuff like that. So hopefully this has helped you guys out. Follow the rules. Remember the rules that we went over if you play UOForever. And just be cool, Don't be a douche. Common sense applies. And I want to go ahead and welcome you to UOForever if you decide to play. And we'll see you in the future, guys. Be sure you follow me over on Twitch because I stream UOForever quite a bit if you want to watch me stream. This has been Zaxxer99. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.